It is my honor tonight to introduce our guest, Mr. Gillian Rusike, who is the Executive Director for Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Lounge.
Thank you, Mkomarichi. It's really my pleasure. You see, if you are summoned by your big brother.
Oh, goodness. Please. Please.
Thanks for the
How
honor.
do I summon a mighty man like you? He was on the phone. I'm like, so can I cheetah? Can I money time? Because you're busy, man. You're doing so many things, moving a lot of things in our economy, and we see it, and we are so proud about it. And like I said, Krembon moment. It's a proud Krembon moment right now, you know.
During our days, we would say Krembon Hoa.
Krembon Hoa. So if you look at this moment, we just got to be biased. If you're tuning in and you went to Krembon Boys, I listen. Much love to you.
Yes.
I see you're doing a lot of things, man, with the old school. You know, you really have a passion still for Krembon, right?
Yes, Komarichi. I think for me, really, I think it's inborn. It's given. Look, I don't struggle to do things. I don't struggle to think about giving back. I put my 100%, and for our school, really, I mean, it's just something that is inside me. It's for my glory. Experience.
Takarwa besha pa ne blazer, takapolisha bootu, tine order, tine discipline, you know, tine. The other day I went there, I think it was changeover, my classes.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, what
is happening?
What is happening? Yeah. During our time, we just stand up and,
gone are the days,
you
honestly.
know. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
Oh yes, definitely.
Compliments of the new season, and how's it going so far?
Thank you so much, my brother, and compliments to you, Zimbabwe, everybody tuning in. It's my pleasure to be speaking to you, sharing a bit of the thoughts and minds that I have on how we can sustain our businesses. I think it's very paramount because look, things are not good out there. So if you just take it like a basic ndamuka ndongona ekukiakia sinogona kukuomera mangwana washaya chikukiakia. So I thought maybe let's share a few nuggets from my perspective, what I've implemented, also to see me to the level that I am now, running a business, starting something right from scratch. I'm one person who advocates you can start a business without cash, without money, without capital. A lot of us, a lot of people, they have got their dreams inside them, but you go to but for me, I started from scratch, nothing. Having gone to Krembon, but I hail from Epworth. So imagine an Epworth boy.
Kwakunzi Epperton Park. Epperton Park.
So everything is possible, really. That's my conviction. So I've come to share a bit of my thoughts.
That's a brilliant introduction. And of course, you can follow us on our Facebook page, Star FM Zimbabwe, and get to be a part of this conversation. And now let's just quickly talk about the Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe, because this is the Entrepreneurs Lounge. We want to know who is the Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe.
Yes, thank you. So Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe, ENZ, it's an organization that is formed by entrepreneurs. In other words, it's a membership-based organization where entrepreneurs are still coming together. Let me use that term. But they've come together to say, look, how can we form a platform where we can share ideas, number one, where we can share even the little resources that we have. How can we create a platform even ruzivo how can you manage a business? It can be shared upon. Vazhinji vedu kutanga kwatakaita mabusiness vamwe yanga iri by accident, vamwe takangotedzerawo hatinyatsoziva kuti kufamba sei. So as ENZ we said, let's come together and create a platform. Katarisa sematsara mangoro amaita pekutanga. Even the other folks in the white community, these guys, they survive by supporting each other. But isu vanhu vatema tinozotanga kutaura nezvaRK kana Adona kana zvisina kumira mushe. But ku ENZ we say, look, let's come together and be each other's keeper. Be your brother's keeper, be your sister's keeper in business. Try to also find ways of supporting what the other brother is doing. Saka ndopataka forma inonzi ENZ Mkomarichi.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Great. 9:15 is the time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you can follow us on our Facebook page, Star FM Zimbabwe. Tonight, I have the Executive Director for Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe, Mr. Gillian Rusike. Now, our conversation is around sustaining a business in volatile environment. I'm going to ask you something. We want to break it down. We want to simplify it.
Yes.
You know, every time I talk about digestion, I'm like, digestion is the breaking down of large complex molecules into simple soluble molecules. Which can, those are like teach you memorize. We're memorizing these, definitions. So, we want to understand, when we say sustaining,
yes,
what do we mean?
Kana tichiti sustaining, tiri kutaura kuti kuramba rakamira riri business. Mabusiness mazhinji rinoti rikatangwa, and kune vakaita research vaiti business rinotangwa mazhinji anodona kana anoparara within the first 5 years.
Okay.
But isu tiri kuti unogona kunge wapfuura 5 years dzacho kana kuti hausati wadzipfuura. What are the simple ways that you can sustain your business? Zvimwewo zvangakwanisa kungoitawo zvisingade mari, because most people think that capital, if I get capital injection in my business, tinogona kukupa mari nhasi.
Yeah.
But tinogona kungodona still. Saka isu nhasi hatitasa issue dzemari. Tiri kuti zvimwe zvingangoitikawo zvisingade mari yakanyanya zvinoita kuti business rako rirambe richirarama even munguva dzakaomesesa senguva
munenge muda kuti tiore moyo tisafarire mari muruti chiko, because mumbozvitaura futi pekutanga paya kuti you don't need money to start a business. You say that, and then now you're saying kuti even tikakupa togona kukupa mari, like the way you said it, like, togona kukupa mari izvozvo, but still
vazhinji mukomarichi vakatanga vane mari, vazhinji vane mari, but kuti arane business vazhinji zvinongoramba. So handisi kuedza kudiscourage vanhu kuti musaite mari. The reason why we are having this conversation, toda kuti vanhu vaedze kuramba vachiita mari. Asi mari mataura issue transgenerational wealth. Haisida kuti ungoita mari yekuti iwe unenge uchingotswanyira muhomwe mangwana zvine kana usipo hanzi kambani yakavha. Toda kuti ticreate ma-institutions sema-Africans. Dambudziko redu nderekuti mukatarisa even vakatanga mabhizinesi kare, ma-Africans vazhinji kufoka vakaita ndokufoka vakaita mabusiness, no matter how big they were. But isusu toda kuti aiwaka ngatimbochinjei mafungiro, even zvakaoma kudai ngatimboiteiwo zvimwe zvinhuwo zvinogona kuti mabhizinesi edu aramba aita sei akamira, kuitira kuti tikwanise kuramba tichishandira mhuri dzedu, tichishandira nyika yeZimbabwe, tichishandira uye tichibatsirana mukurarama kwatinoita in our daily lives.
And then the next word I would like for you to also break down is volatile.
Yes, kana tichiti volatile tikutaura nguva kana kuti mamiriro ezvinhu asina kumira zvakanaka maringe nekuita business. Volatility inouya maybe neinflation yekuti nhasi watumira quotation, but ukada kuibhadharwa mangwana quotation iyo hazvichaita nokuti maprice atosiyana overnight. Tikutaura issue yekuti hakuna forex. It's a very volatile environment yekuti it's difficult kuti zvakaoma kuti munhu urane business rako maringe zvinhu zvakamira zvakanaka. Saka unofanira kunge uri munhu anokurumidza kufunga static kuitira kuti mangwana uwane food on the table kana kuti business rako rirambe riripo. Saka volatility tikutaura an environment which is not conducive for business.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That's what we're talking about, sustaining a business in volatile environment. And I remember a few years ago, Mateo came through and he says, you know what? Where do we start in terms of just sustaining our businesses in environments that are unpredictable, in environments that just things are changing? How do we do that?
Yes, thanks so much, RK. And once again, it's a very good evening. It's a very good evening to all the listeners. I'm going to try to speak as much as possible in English so that we accommodate our other colleagues who do not really understand Shona, but I hope that I'll be able to drive the points home. So what I've done is I've come up with about just 10 points for this conversation.
10.
These are just my thumbs up points, things that I can just check on quite quickly and very fast before we go deeper into other things. So my number one point is that I want to challenge every other business entrepreneur to really focus on strategy. And when I talk of strategy for your business, is that I want each and every entrepreneur to sit down and give a moment of thought. What is it that I am doing? What is my business? What is the vision that I'm pursuing as a business? One of the biggest challenges that we have, RK, is that we've got a lot of entrepreneurs. They just wake up and go into town. What are you up to? I'm just going to see what's going to happen. Whatever comes, I'm going to catch on it. But if you realize that most of the corporates, even the big corporates, those that have done quite well, they invest a lot on strategy development. What are your objectives? Each and every entity, they sit down. If you want to pursue a proper business that is sustainable, you sit down and set out what I call your strategic objectives. Because there's no way that you can just wake up and say, we're selling cars. I mean, you're selling cars, then what? How many cars do you intend to sell? And when you've sold those cars, what is it that you want to do? Because your business is not just selling cars. You need to look at your business holistically. But this approach can only happen if you spare time. Before you even go out, think about the bigger picture, the vision that you want to achieve, that if I'm going to pursue whatever that I'm doing, by such a time, I need to have achieved 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, when the vision is well laid out, I want to assure you that the desire to wake up every morning to pursue that, I mean, it keeps boiling inside you. It pushes you to continue to want to do whatever that you are doing. I think if you look at it, entrepreneurs, even most of these small scale business people or makorokos, I don't know what we can term them. Most of them, they don't even sit down to plan and think. It's just waking up, going to Mbari every morning to hold up or to buy whatever that's there so that I sell. Even if when you make profit, what is it that you want to do with the profit? The next thing, you're going to the shops buying a chicken cuts and you're saying, I'm okay. Is that how you really want to sustain your business? Wow. So in other words, what you are pursuing, it's a hand to mouth approach. And I want to assure you that in volatile times, when things go haywire, you are not motivated to wake up to say, no, I need to think to go around this hurdle which is there, because you don't have an objective that you are setting. Your vision is not there. There's no vision at all. You're just waking up to want to buy food that you eat and consume. So really, first and foremost, as an entrepreneur, as much as we set our personal resolutions, what is your resolution? Maybe 1 or 2. Don't put 5, don't put so many, because the challenge of putting so many, you will not be able to achieve them. Just put 2.
Before you jump to the next one,
yes,
you're about to do that, right?
Yes, I was about to do that.
You say take a moment. When does one take that moment?
So strategy development is at any other point of the business. You know, in the big corporate, when we're talking of strategy, we get to a point where we talk of strategy review. It can, especially in this volatile environment, strategy review can be done even quarterly. After 3 months, is what we set to do, is it still achievable? Is it something that we can do? So you can set your bigger objective, be it a quarterly objective, to say after 3 months, I need to have achieved 1, 2, 3, 4. It depends with the nature of the business, because there are some businesses that require a long time for you to realize a profit, but there are some businesses that you can realize profit immediately. So those ones, you find that your cycle can be different. But in the volatile environment that I'm talking about, it's best to review your strategies maybe on a quarterly basis.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
The other point number 2 that I want to encourage entrepreneurs is the issue of specialization or of focus. The biggest challenge that we have as entrepreneurs, particularly in a volatile environment, is that we want to do what can give us money there and there.
Everything.
If you hear that Madura, now it's season of Madura, you're on next bus, you're going to Matebele land to get Madura. The next thing you want to go to Manika land, that's the stream, but there. So you realize that if you fail to specialize, you are spreading your risk too thinly across so many places, and your chances of succeeding are very, very difficult. I would want you to be known as RK, that wherever a name RK is said, even not at a radio station, the first thing that comes to the mind is, I know RK is a DJ. Then the person, no, I don't mean RK DJ. You know, just like we always mention about Colgate. If you want to buy toothpaste, be it Close Up or any other brand, the first thing that comes to your mind is, I want that Colgate. No, not that red one, the green one. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Because Colgate has consolidated itself. It is known as the toothpaste, is something that cleans and freshens your mouth. So the edge that I have now is under the volatile times, every entrepreneur, you should endeavor as much as possible to be known for something. Specialize. Even if the returns are not good, let me assure you that the situation will not remain as the same. But you want to go to a point where when people are in need of shoe polish, they will know that there's someone called Nugget. I need to buy Nugget shoe polish because you have been consistent, you have been excellent, and you have been quite an expert in that area that nobody else beats you. Most of our entrepreneurs, they've got the challenge that they want to do everything in one go. You've got a retail shop, you've got this, you've got a tuck shop at home and everything else. So you realize that even the little resources that you have, you are spreading them across so many things, and at the end of the day, you are not able to maximize on the expertise that you have. Don't be a jack of all trades. I know a lot of people would say, I'll go for things that will give me bread on the table on that day, then tomorrow it's another day. Yes, you can do that, serial entrepreneurship, but let me assure you, you won't go any further. You won't go anywhere. Specialize. That will be my point number 2. I'll go to my point number 3 in terms of how to sustain your business in volatile times. We have learned one of the principles that is called the Pareto optimality, the 80-20 rule, Komarichi. So the 80-20 rule simply states that 80% of your business comes from 20% of your customers, or 20% of your business comes from 80% of your customers. Can I repeat myself?
Please, yeah. I'm too slow.
The Pareto optimality is called an 80-20 rule. It states that, from a marketing point of view, it states that 20% of your business comes from 80% of your customers. That means you've got this huge number of customers, but in terms of value, they're only giving you 20%. Are you getting it? In terms of a total business. And then you've got 20% of the customers that are giving you 80% of the business. So now what a clever person does, when you have done your analysis of your customer base, you would put more effort on the 20% that are giving you 80% of the business.
Yeah.
In other words, I'm saying there are customers that buy in bulk, that buy big volumes from you. Yes, the customers that come and buy one bottle of cooking oil, one tablet of bath soap, I'm not saying ignore them. They are your customers, but remember, they constitute 20% of the business. But for you to survive, you need that 20%. That means whatever that you are planning, strategies that you have in terms of relationship management, you need to put more effort on the 20%, because they are the ones that are bringing the bulk or the volume of your business to you. You cannot treat your customers in volatile times all the same. There are some customers that you can say, no, today I don't have sugar. Yet you know you've got 10 cartons that you are waiting for Mr. So and so and so and so. So that when they pass through, you can say, here's a packet of sugar, because of the relationship that you have built. That's how you can sustain your business, because that same customer is going to come back again and make the purchase from you.
I've experienced that.
Yes. I mean,
when there's shortages, but I never lack. I'm given.
There's somebody who calls you, RK, please pass by and get 10 kg of milk. Yeah, I worked in a supermarket at some point. I mean, we would do that. We would reserve some scarce products for our key customers. I would know that Mr. So-and-so, when he comes every day with his wife, they pass through, say, I've got 2 kg of sugar, would you want some? But somebody has been waiting in a queue the whole day. They are looking for 2 kg of sugar. You don't give them. So that alone is a strategy that will make you survive even under any circumstances, because that 20%, number one, remember, the number is not so big, so it's manageable. You can know them by name. I mean, you can know what they like. If their team wins that particular weekend, you can WhatsApp them, oh, congratulations, Chelsea has beat Manchester City. I don't know if it has ever beat. I'm not a soccer fan. I'm just giving as an example.
You're like me there. We're on this, in the same boat.
So these are customers that you even if it's their birthday, you can send them happy birthday, Mr. Soren. So you are creating, or you've got a bit of in-depth knowledge about this person. So that 80-20 rule, it's something that you really need to make sure that you distinguish your customers from the other. Don't treat everybody the same, because that 80% that brings 20%, the chances that they can go somewhere else, I mean, what do they lose? They can simply slip away,
and yet they can sustain your business.
You see now. So you really need to make sure that whatever strategies that you're putting in place under volatile times, take care of the 20% that is bringing in the 80%. But don't forget that 80%. I'm not saying don't give an ear to them. Leave some room for them to maneuver as well.
So you call this Pareto something?
Yes, it's Pareto.
Pareto
optimality. Yeah, that's how it's called. Pareto, as in P-A-R-E. You can read around it. You can apply it not only on customers, but even on suppliers. You can apply it, just like even at home, that you've got 5 sons, for example. Out of the 5 sons, there's one that ensures that you've got food in your house. So that's your what? Your 20%, that brings the 80%. So you realize that even in families, there are some sons are not, when they arrive, that one, no. Let's quickly discuss this before ABC arrives. So you are the 80% who is bringing in the 20%. So it's a principle that can work in so many spheres. That's even as a father, but I'm not saying it's good to do that. But look, it's normal, it's natural. Every parent has got a favorite child, no matter they're all your children. So it's something that you just need to make sure that when it comes to business, that component, the 80-20 rule, is applicable, and you have to apply it. I'll move to the other points. Point number 4, which I say, or which I want.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I just read an interesting message. Yes, Man City once lost to Chelsea. In
That's
the
a nice one.
UCL final a few back. Genius Mushonga. Thank you, Genius.
Thanks, Gillian. I'm always asked to comment about soccer. Now these days that I'm on TV, and I'm like, okay. So I'm encouraged to watch more of soccer. Yeah. So I'll go to point number 4, which I want to say, as an entrepreneur, you need to try as much as possible to minimize costs. Every business has costs, but I want to tell you that in volatile times, you cannot continue doing business as usual. There is a point that you need to sit down and relook at your cost factors. Which one are your cost centers? I want to give an example. For example, let's say you are doing, you're packaging some food products, for example. I think there are times that you can, if you've got a very good relationship with the customers, a customer can even come and get their products not packaged. Number one, they trust you, they trust everything else. So if there's an opportunity that you can do that, you need to try to minimize on that specific cost. What does it do? It means that you are minimizing on costs, and you're also maximizing on what? On profitability, because that's what we want. So try also as much as possible to look at so many ways where you can minimize your cost, not only in packaging, even the manufacturing processes, even where you're procuring your products. I mean, it's very, very critical. If you were getting tomatoes from Uzumba Maramba Pumwe, and there's somebody in, let's say, Mazoe, who is now producing tomatoes, you would rather get the tomatoes quite close than to continue focusing on a place which is costly and so forth. Most of the entrepreneurs, they think that to the customer on how to minimize as long as I get this and I put my 100% markup. And you know, for Zimbabweans, our markups are very, very dubious.
Yeah.
You get something for $50, you want to sell it for $150. But if you want to be a business that is sustainable under these circumstances, I think your cost factors are very, very critical.
Yeah.
And you cannot always say, I want to. That's why you find our inflation is always going up every day. Because the challenge that we are having is we always throw costs to the next person. I don't care. You don't even care. You took it for how much? $90. Put 150. You don't even calculate to say what is the effect, what is the ripple effect. We don't do that, and we don't care about that. But we need to start thinking along those lines. I'll go to point number 5. This is very, very critical, and I want people to listen very, very carefully. What 5 is create strong customer relationships. Create strong customer relationships. Let me emphasize that people want to do business with people they know and like. I'll repeat it. People want to do business with people they know and like. Imagine you are selling peanut butter. There are 3 people who are selling peanut butter. First and foremost, you look at the person who's selling. And you are thinking of the hygiene behind that person before you even purchase that peanut butter. Okay. But if I know that my brother RK he's got a side hustle, he sells peanut butter. Do you know, I would rather wait for peanut butter to come all the way from Highfield whilst I'm in Borodo, because no. Brother RK said he's bringing peanut butter.
Bring it, yeah.
Because I know him,
yeah,
and I trust him. So if you do not keep or create strong customer relationships with your customers, I want to assure you that your business is doomed to fail, because people don't just buy. These days, especially with social media, before I even buy, do you know the youngsters of these days, what they simply do before they even walk into a shop? They are Googling. They are saying, go to Edgar's Corner Samora Masho. Before you're even there, they've already zoomed, they are there. They already know the coordinates, and before you finish, they actually know who is the manager there.
Yeah. Yep.
It's because information is readily available.
True.
So we are living in a world where information is readily available, where the customer is a well-informed customer. Our customers have got information. And also we are in a world where customers don't have time. They are so busy. You want to go to Mbare, from Mbare you need to pass through Kwadzana and Richards, then you want to move to so forth in one day, and imagine the traffic, imagine you need to do school run and so forth. So the customer of the day is a completely different animal from customers of yesterday. Long back would say we are going to town to do shopping, to buy clothes, but these days clothes can just come into your house whilst you are in the comfort of your house. These days you can have breakfast. I've always told people that you can have breakfast with bread from Lobels, from local, sugar from Brazil, biscuits from England, bacon from South Africa. So you find even tea from Kenya. And it's just one meal. So if you don't have a relationship, customers have got multiple choices readily available. And some of them, they are just on the click of a button. So what I want to encourage entrepreneurs, that as you are building your business, make sure you are also conscious of the relationships that you create with your customers. That is very, very vital. And the value of your business, it is the value of the relationships that you have with your customers. That is a very critical point.
I think 5 dropped. I think let's do that first half, and then we'll do the next half later on. All right. So do come through on our Facebook as well. Give us your comments, your thoughts, your questions, as well as we talk about sustaining business in volatile environment, strategy, specialization,
Pareto optimality. But
I warned you not to bring this.
No, I think it was developed by a person called Pareto. You know, they will always give these principles based on who has developed them.
And then the 4th one was minimize cost, and the 5th one was create strong customer relations. Yeah, those, I think that's sounding awesome. Do come through as well on WhatsApp 0775 8978. and say amen, add, subtract, ask if you have to. Feel free, because it's a lounge where we're sitting and just maybe you're having a cup of coffee after a long day out there working, and strategy we need to align things need to be aligned so that it's sustainable. So if you've got questions, thoughts, additions, subtractions, feel free to come through. The last one was creating strong customer relations. We're going to point number 6.
Yes, point number 6, I want to talk about separate company money and personal money. I think most of the entrepreneurs, this is a very big challenge, because whatever that comes into the company coffers or whatever that we receive as a business, it is equated to personal money. Decisions are made there and there without even putting it somewhere aside and so forth. And many entrepreneurs, one of the biggest challenges is we don't pay ourselves salaries. And that is very, very dangerous. What that means is that every money that is coming, every dollar that is coming our way, that money we are using it for personal needs. If you want your business to be sustainable, you need to create a fund that this money I do not touch. Even if you work with your spouse, as many entrepreneurs do, they work with either their wife or their husband. Yeah. Make sure you pay yourselves salaries from whatever that you are getting, and that alone will indicate whether you're doing is quite well or it's not doing well. Because if you don't pay yourself salaries and just say take from the safe, take from that cash, go and collect money from that customer, you are eating zvese nembeu zvacho zvese. In other words, you are eating profit and capital. Yeah. Now when it comes, you want to restock, you want to put you want to purchase something, you'll not be able to do that because that money will not be there. So let's separate. If you are running a business, make sure that there is the company money and there is the personal money. If that personal money is no longer there, make sure if it's borrowed from the business, it should be subtracted from your salary come month end. Most of us, we can't do that. We want to personalize business money, and that alone is something that will clearly indicate that your business is going to fail.
So in other words, you must plan the money before it comes. You must.
Yes, definitely.
You must know, Kuti, when we make the money, 15% is going here.
Yes. Okay. And also on that note, Richie, and be able to understand how much is profit.
Yeah.
A profit margin on each sale.
Yeah.
It's not that every sale that comes, that money is yours. If it's 15% or it's $15, that $15 is the money that you need to use for something else. Don't plan for the whole $100 and saying because I have received $100. Yeah. Because remember, there's also capital in that $100. But $15, if that's your profit, make sure you use that $15 or you separate it. My point number 7 is innovate within the same line of business. In other words, I'm talking about value addition. Most entrepreneurs, the challenge, like I indicated, we want to be everywhere else. So if you want to grow your business, make sure you are growing it within the same line of operation. You're a builder. If you want to diversify or find another source of money, start making bricks. So what that means is those bricks, they're going to supply into your business, and you realize that you won't struggle much in terms of that innovation because it's feeding into the line of business. Start selling cement. Put what do we call those Znesco cement on the road. People put them in containers. Okay. Get a container, put your 2,000 bags of cement and sell it. Next time you want to build a house, you can still buy that cement from your container. That means there is value addition. You are increasing on that. Don't try to innovate something that is outside your line of business, because what that means is you are going to get money from the the original business you're running and putting it into something completely different that does not add value. That alone, I want to guarantee you that it's a recipe for disaster. I want to go to a point of money. I said I'm not going to talk about money, but
you did talk about money.
Yes. Under volatile environment, avoid surviving on borrowed money.
Yeah.
Musakwerete, don't borrow shit. I want to put because you know what? Once you start borrowing, I tell you, it's difficult to sustain that loan or whatever that money you have borrowed or repay it. And because you'll be borrowing and saying, I'll give you month end. Month end comes, You have not managed to raise that kind of money. What are you going to do? You're going to borrow again to cover that debt. And that cycle continues and continues. I would urge entrepreneurs that let's survive with what we have. I want to give you an example. Kudata Gwire, what's his name? What's his business?
Got so many businesses.
Yeah, the fossils and what. Do you know he was giving a speech at one of the graduation ceremonies and said, I started my business by selling a house in Westgate.
Yeah.
He said, I sold my house. Many of us as entrepreneurs, we are not in a position to dispose of the assets so that we get money that generates
more money. Yeah.
The problem with us is we want to sit on a 6-bedroom house and we want to go to the bank and borrow 200,000 because I'm so scared. If I lose, if you are scared, why are you venturing into it? It means you are not confident.
Yeah.
But if you are confident that the business venture you are getting into is going to generate enough money, you go the route of disposing some of the assets that we have. You know, I've got one man that really inspires me, and I'm so proud to talk of his story because he speaks about it even publicly. Dr. Samuel Mudavanu, the owner of Maranatha Group of Schools, he said at one point, for him to buy the land where he has built his schools, the guy is a multi-million-dollar. He said, I sold my ring, the wedding ring. Him and his wife, they removed rings to add money to buy the piece of land where they've built. Now they are multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
They have relied on the things that they looked at themselves and said, what do we have? The wife said, I've got a wedding ring. He said, okay, I've got a pair of shoes. But today they are swimming in money.
Yeah.
So such mentality alone tells you that you need to start from where you are.
Yeah.
Don't borrow. I'm one person who says don't borrow. Let's go with what we have.
My hand is upset.
Thanks.
Is it practical not to borrow? Is it practical? I'm loving this. Is it practical?
Are you asking me or the general?
No, I'm asking you.
Well, definitely it's practical. I've also started my businesses. I did not even borrow. I don't owe anyone. And let me tell you, I sleep like a baby.
Ooh.
Because I know for sure that I don't owe anyone anything. It's in the mentality, it's in the mind. But the moment you want to start borrowing and come month end, everybody's going to ask for their money.
So in other words, you're saying when there's lack, because the reason we borrow is because we want to invest into our business, because we either feel apana. What do? You
I say dispose of what you have.
Okay.
This phone, I won't say how much it costs.
Yeah.
But you know, I can sell this phone and get the money that I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to state the amount because it might confuse other people.
I was actually thinking of selling my phone, by the way.
You see now. I've seen a lot of people who sold their phones and have gone back to Kambudzi.
Yep.
For a season.
Yep.
Once something is up, but some of us, we want to keep on holding on to these flashy cars.
Feel good. We want to feel good.
And if you look at these young people who call themselves entrepreneurs, the next thing they get money, they're going to buy a most expensive car. Yet they don't even have a house of their own to sleep in.
Yeah.
So the issue of borrowing, I want to assure you, it is one that has destroyed so many entrepreneurs, because upon your death, the people that have given you money, they're the first ones to come to ask for their money, and that's the end of it. Your kids, no one else will get anything.
Yeah.
Yes. For the sake of time, I'll move on to the next one.
Was that point number 8?
Yeah, that was point number.
Do not borrow.
Number 8. Yes, that was point number 8.
Do not borrow.
Do not borrow. Avoid borrowing. Don't survive on borrowing. You end up being a person who is always borrowing every other time. Point number 9. I want to encourage entrepreneurs that it is vital for them to join platforms, networks, groups of like-minded people. For example, for entrepreneurs, I talked of Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe. Do you know that once you join a platform like that, it's easier for you even to get ideas from the colleagues? But if you check, most of us, we are in all these funny groups.
That's not bus.
That's not a basaris. A 52-year-old man in a group of singles and searching. What are you doing there? Does it add value? And you know, the time that you're going to spend in those groups, they're of no value. So rather be in platforms or groups where like-minded entrepreneurs are there and the discussions are taking place. You are also informed. You know, transformation comes with information. My pastor was just preaching at church to say, look, If you want to be transformed, you need to be informed. How can you be informed if you do not have access to information? And information comes when you network with like-minded people. So groups are very vital for every person in business, whatever business. Let's say you are in the fresh gardening products selling business, for example. Do you know if you are in groups of farmers, of like-minded farmers, it's easier for you to know that broccoli is there. My broccoli is changing color to purple. Guys, what do I do?
Yep.
It's a matter of a WhatsApp. And you get vital information from those that are working. But if you're in a group of mechanics, what do you expect for them to tell you? So that one is very, very critical, and I'll emphasize on it because I've seen the benefits of being part and parcel of such platforms. I've been in them and I've built my businesses through those. Point number 10.
Yeah.
The last point. Create or build a strong personal, number 1, corporate, number 2, and product, number 3, brands. Endeavor to build a personal brand that when you stand and your name is mentioned, everybody affirms that, we know RK. No one will doubt that. Oh, we know RK supplies A, B, C, D. Do you know that people can stand and vouch for you even if when you are not there? Yeah. But there are some names that if they are mentioned, some people can just start laughing. It's at your risk. Because, I mean, they've shrouded themselves in these quotes and everything that are not genuine. So if you fail to build a personal brand, zita rakanaka rinojikisa. Unojika mkoma RK. You eat well. Because like just of a name. And I want also for entrepreneurs to endeavor to build what are called corporate brands. You know, your company name should be one name that no one doubts. If you just say Lafarge, if you say Delta, if you say Star FM, are you getting the point? You don't even think twice. You simply say, I know what happened in the Star FM. So every other business, never ever be shy to make sure that your corporate brand is also known. Yeah. And even it goes down to your products. Don't just produce a product that has no name. No name products have no value. They don't bring in money. Yeah. Try as much as possible that as you're building yourself up, you are also building product brands that people would want to resonate with. People want to remember each and every time that, I need to buy Coke, even if they want Fanta. Yeah. So I think once you try some of these things, I know it's not an easy process, but at least endeavor to be someone. Endeavor your business to be a standalone, not just to produce invoices in different names every other time. People will not be able to identify with you. Yeah. And that alone is actually a recipe for disaster because you are not doing your things quite properly.
One agenda I would like for us to talk about, everybody calls themselves a brand nowadays, like I'm a brand. And sometimes you're like, hey, okay, what is this brand all about? We're not talking about that now, but I'm just picking up from the last point that you talked about, create a strong personal brand as well as corporate brands as well. I think we will need to sort of dwell on that. At what point do you call yourself a brand? What have you done that makes you a brand? Everybody now just says ndiri brand. Uri brand pakai. But let's take quick responses on WhatsApp, and then maybe you can react to some of them, and then we call it a night. Awesome night. 10 points given for free on the water station, the Entrepreneurs Lounge. I like his emphasis on the 20-80% principle. It's very important. T-Much, thank you very much. Anzi RK, the dream maker, that Pareto optimistic 80-20 rule caused the hatred. Me always told customer is king. We always told customer is king. Happy we're growing and learning. Tariro Kombani from Magunja. Thank you. The commendable route, and thanks for the house selling idea, but it's an exception. The commendable route is to mortgage real estate and maintain the asset as part of your balance sheet.
That's another school of thought.
Okay. Most enterprises do not invest in customer care. So many times you walk into a shop and the attendants will be busy on social media. If you are greeted, you will be very lucky. And as a result, you won't call you call back again, and eventually the business folds prematurely. We're talking about sustainability. There's a valid point there. I get into the shop, nobody gives me attention, nothing. I don't come back there again next time, Just a welcome, how you, and things like that. Very important. Hans learning new ideas. Nyamtewa Robert Sebo Range Marondera. I think I'll leave it at that. Tonight, it's very special. Thank you very much for the 10 points. I don't know if I want to ask you to say much. I think you've said already enough. 10 points which I've taken down. I've taken out of each one of them. I'm going to move out of some of the platforms that I'm part of. Kuna mamwe platform andiri soga. Asinaka na basa. Mamwe ndakangokandwa ndikutoona ndikuto entertainers. Asinaka na ne basa race. So time is very precious. You need to be in groups that tell you about your line of business, the things that inform you so that your business is sustainable. Gillian, Rusike, Executive Director, Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe. We want to get in touch with Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe. Obviously, we want to be part of that network because this is the Entrepreneurs Lounge. How do I come on board? How do I become a part of the group? So,
yes, RK, thanks so much. I think people can get hold of me. I will gladly give my WhatsApp number so that they'll be able to WhatsApp me and then we can have further conversations. My WhatsApp number is 0772 941 357. So you can WhatsApp me. I repeat again, 0772 941 357. So get in touch with me. Don't hesitate. We can have conversations. We can help each other on strategy. We can talk entrepreneurship. We can talk business. And our desire is to make sure that everyone's business is very successful under the times that we are operating in.
Thank you very much. And just to also let you know that Mr. Gillian Rusike will be with us until the end of the month. Now, next week, we start on a different conversation. We're talking about marketing.
Yes. I think let's start with the broader scope of marketing. Then the following week we'll talk about branding. You emphasized the issue of personal branding. I talked of corporate branding and so forth. So we'll break down what marketing is because almost a lot of people are so confused. Oh, my phone is already ringing. Please don't call. I said WhatsApp. I'll be able to respond.
That's how crazy radio is.
Yes. So I think next week we're gonna talk about marketing in general. We'll break it down so that it's understandable and how it can help businesses grow and develop.
Thank you very much for coming through. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, RK, sorry.
It's all right. I can put the T in there. I don't mind. RTK.
He's my big brother. I'm allowed to do that, but you are not allowed to make a mistake. It's RK. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.